it brought me back to like why I started wakeboarding, and like it like fully brought back the passion though when I like changed that perspective and I was like, oh no, like this is what I'm going to go do for work, and like this is my job, and then like wakeboarding is like just something I get to do and like partake in, and it became like just like really, really fun again.
Yeah,
really, really fun again.
I approve waterboarding. They're talking about wakeboarding. The thing about wakeboarding, every trick is an invert.
Backside,
Air railing.
a new dimension.
All right, we are back. Another episode of the Grind Matters podcast. Today, we welcome on a very special guest, Tanar Pigrenet. Pigrenet. Fuck the T's. Okay, well, I've talked to you for a long time, and I still don't know how to say your last name.
No. I grew up with Tanar Pigrenet, so it's like my alter ego.
Tanar Pigrenet.
Totally used to it.
Well, that's why you got the pig on the board right there, I'm assuming. So
that is why.
All right, so we are for the listeners, we are in Sacramento.
Welcome.
Your spot, obviously, the local. We're sitting down with you. I'm here for the X Games, and you popped out there a little bit as well, which by the time this comes out, it happened a couple weeks ago. But
yes, sir.
Pretty epic, pretty insane. I'm sure it's cool for you to see wakeboarding here in Sacramento.
Man, super, super special. One, I was just, for Sacramento itself, just so excited that the X Games is here. Northern California, I just feel like the extreme sports scene, it runs super deep up here. And then the fact, like, when I got my tickets, I didn't even realize X Games or wakeboarding was even a part of it.
Yeah.
And then Tennis, they dropped kind of like that, X Games or wakeboarding is going to be in it. And yeah, man, just so stoked. And then seeing the setup, like the development of the rails and everything throughout, this last week, unreal. And then seeing it all together at the venue, like, best spot for spectating. The pool looks unreal. The left rail, unreal. I mean, what a showing. What a showcase for wakeboarding.
It was epic. And
to
be a fan of wakeboarding, and I can't imagine even being in Sacramento. It's like a great combination.
Oh, man. And then, like, knowing, too, like, the only two parks in California are both in Sacramento. So for accessibility, if, someone new sees it, we can provide the experience as well.
Yeah,
outside the X Games.
I don't know if I was talking to you or who I was talking to. They were like, "Man, we need like Wake Island and VIP just to have like a booth there, just so that way people can be like a video playing or whatever. Just like, hey, this is right here. Like you can 100%. Actually go do this.
Like literally 20 miles either direction.
Yeah,
like.
And they're both like insane parks in their own right. So
man,
like,
2 different rides, 2 different experiences, and incredible parks.
Yeah, both are super good. Yeah. All right, we usually start off with favorite grab.
Okay.
So what do you got for favorite grab?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to go with Crail. Crail. And my reasoning too is, a Crail, and I would say too, like a Crail into a hip transfer, is probably my favorite, because if you're hitting the hip on your toes, the way you're pulling Crail and tweaking Crail is different than the way you're pulling it and tweaking it if you hit like a heel side hip transfer.
Yeah.
So, and I like toe side, I mean, you pop off the face, grab the nose, and I mean, the back leg is straight, you're pulling it to your heart, you can kind of twist your hip and really tweak it. And then on your heels, it's just more of like I don't know, you're more like reaching down for it. So the angle's different. Like the toe side's more of like a vertical kind of crail.
Yeah.
To whereas the heel, I feel like kind of starts to get a little horizontal, just because you're still having to land like little more front foot heavy, a little more like shoulders over your toes, kind of into the tranny. So
yeah. And I feel like on the toes, your body's like kind of crossed up a little bit, which is
100%.
already like naturally making the crail a little bit more aesthetically pleasing.
100%.
I don't know if we've had many crails, honestly.
Dude, and I have to like, probably the coolest crail that I've seen too is Pedro in 2018 in Bali. He stomped Crail Pete.
Yeah, okay.
And dude, I was filming it, and oh my gosh, it's probably the sickest, like one of the sickest tricks.
Yeah.
Oh man, like watching in person, just stomped at bolts right away. I was like, yeah, Crail's.
He's got a good
sickest
crail,
grab.
dude. He's got a really good crail. That's a good name to throw out there. I think we hit it early with the guest question.
Yes, sir.
From none other than Trevor Maur.
Ooh, all right, Trev Dog.
So let's jump into this.
Tanner.
In the car with his
So
face.
we're gonna roll this. Hey, if you guys hear my family in the back, they're all crazy. We're on a road trip from the X Games, but hey, Tanner, got a question for you, man. There's a pretty funny day filming for Dog Days. A couple key words we're gonna say: 2 sets of road rash, stingrays, cops. And we didn't get that much done during this day of filming, but it's a lot to unpack. I feel like you can elaborate really well. Man, super excited to hear your story on here. And yeah, man, Grab Matters Podcast, you're doing great. Yoo-hoo!
Big thank you, Trevor.
Oh, shout out Trev. Yeah. That's a funny question, man. Yeah, so it was summer of 2015. Trev was doing just a video shoot down in Long Beach, doing something for Mountain Dew. So we went down there. We got down there. First day was just pretty much doing all that stuff, shooting for it. But we were like, oh, there's most definitely some winch spots around. So the next morning, just all juiced, found this like up ledge. Where was it? It's like in this canal kind of close to the beach in Long Beach, but yeah, it's just this like super, super long up ledge. And I was like, oh man, this is like perfect. Like mellow enough, what I thought. So I thought. And yeah, no, pretty much early morning mission. A photographer like down south, pretty legendary photographer, Stephen Hahn. He was going to come out and shoot. So I'm like, okay, like kind of like pressure's on, like got this spot, all excited about it. And yeah, get there in the morning, get everything set up. And man, I'm just like, okay, I got this. Start kind of like rub bricking the ledge. And I'm like, man, okay, this is pretty gritty. Like I'm like giving it everything I got with this rub brick, like pretty much running through the rub brick itself, and got wax on it and everything. And yeah, first go, dude, just like take a heel edge to it. I was just going to do like backside fitty up it, just what I could do. Dude, right when I go to ollie on it, like shoulders go forward, weight goes forward. Right when I hit the concrete, man, it's just like just end over end, just like cartwheeled on the up ledge off into the water. And the really like crazy part about it was salt water because we were so close to the ocean. So, dude, like, road rash immediately and just started burning, like, instantly. Like, instant burn, dude. So I'm like, okay, like, everything's set up. That was the first try. Like, there's no way I'm not going to try it again.
Yeah.
Dude, second go, like, same thing.
No.
Same thing. I'm like, no way, dude. This is crazy. Try it a third time. I think it was the third time I was able to actually, like, go up, not as far as I wanted to, but still just like kind of went off to the side. And I was like, yo, I don't know if this is working. And then at the same time though, Trevor's up top and he's like looking into the canal and he's like, hey, yeah, I don't know if we should like be doing this anymore. I was like, oh, what's up? He's like, dude, there's jellyfish or stingrays. There's like stingrays everywhere in this canal. Just like he could see from the top down. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I think this is a good time to call it then. Like, I really think this is a good time to call it. So, yeah, and that was fun because I'm just road rashed up. We go back to his wife, Allie's aunt's house, and, dude, they start, like, pouring peroxide on my arms, and it was, like, the worst thing ever. I'm just, like, it was, like, in the garage, and every time they would pour the peroxide on, dude, I would just, like, take off sprinting to, like down the street. Yeah. Just, like, oh, dude, it burned so bad. I had to do something, or I was just like, go crazy. Oh man, but yeah, that was a hectic one. No clip, but scars for sure. Yeah.
Jeez, and he said cops at the end. Any cop situation at the end?
I'm trying to remember. I'm sure there was. I think I was just so. I think they rocked up as we were kind of already like wrapping up. We were like, yeah, we're out of here. Like, no problem. Like, we'll willingly leave. Like I'm like walking up like, yeah, dude, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm all good. You know, like we're good. We're good.
What was the wax situation? Did you wax your board and the ledge and it was just that gritty where it was just like full contact?
Yeah. I don't think I didn't put any wax on. and this is probably where I could have made my mistake. I didn't put any wax on my board. I more so just rub bricked the ledge and just tried to like use all the Gulf wax on that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this should be enough. Wasn't enough. Learned so quick, dude. Yeah,
That's the concrete thing is tough, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, because you see some people slide concrete like it's just butter and it's nothing. And you're like, there must have been some prep time here, or you got a nice ledge. And then other times you just see the full, just land and hang up. And it's like,
man.
yep.
Instant too. And I like at that time too, I was on a FLX, and so there wasn't even like a track. So I was as far in as I could be, but I was still like kind of wide. So even just having a wider stance on it, I'm like, oh no, I paid for it instantly. But no, it was a good trip. It was a really good trip. You know, all things considered.
All right, let's talk early days, because you're not from California, correct?
No.
So where are you from?
So I was born in Fort Polk, Louisiana. My parents met in the Army. And then when I was 2, my mom and I moved to Alvin, Texas, which is a small town like southeast of Houston, pretty close to the coast, the Gulf Coast. And yeah, I was raised in Alvin from like 2 to about 14. And then when I was 14, I moved up to the Dallas area. That's where I like went to high school and everything. A town called Grapevine. And yeah, that's where I started wakeboarding, was up in Dallas. Started wakeboarding at like 16 years old. And the first time I ever went to a cable or saw a cable was like Hydrus, because it wasn't too far from Grapevine. But yeah, no, that's kind of the early days, man. Just growing up in Texas, Southeast Houston, up to Dallas, and yeah, that's where it all started.
Let's talk about that first time riding, because how old are you?
16 years old.
Okay.
16 years old. Yeah, the first time, it's interesting. The first time I ever saw wakeboarding, like at all, like behind the boat, I took my mom and some cousins and we used to take this like kind of annual trip in the summer to like San Marcos, New Braunfels in Texas. It's like Central Texas outside of Austin.
New Braunfels, that's where TSR is, right?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. And so we would like get a river house, because like the main thing to do is like float the river there. And I remember like being in the backyard of this river house, like just like right up to the river, and this boat's just like cruising down the pass, and there's like this dude wakeboarding, and I mean, he was ripping too. And I still like, I've talked to him about this, and I still haven't got the full confirmation if it was him. But dude, I'm almost positive, like no joke, because I think of the timing as well. Like he possibly still could have been at Texas State. But I'm like, there's like a small part of me that believes it was Tom Fouché.
Yeah.
Because I mean, dude, he was ripping. I mean, like not average, like, you know, oh, this dude's just good. No,
whatever, yeah.
Like grabbed flips, grabbed spins, like, and back and forth in the pass, like heel side, toe side, like not just like cutting back on. And dude, I'm like almost positive. I've talked, I think I briefly brought it up to him. I haven't confirmed it with him though, but I'm like, I think that was Tom Fouché.
Yeah.
Like now that I look back at it. And because when we did talk, I like was like, where would you like practice, you know, like when you would ride boat? And it was like that same kind of area of the river. I'm like, man, there's a chance. But yeah, later that summer, I went with just a high school buddy. His name is Nico Nakamura, and his dad Yuki, to their lake house. And they just had like a pretty nice standard boat, you know, outboard motor. And I learned behind that, and dude, first day was just like the hardest thing ever. Like didn't get up the first day, like just tried, like could not get it. Went back out the next day and finally was able to, like, after another like 10 first tries, like finally able to pop up. But I had like skated prior.
Okay, I was wondering if there was board sports activity before that.
Yeah, there was. No, I skated like from probably 9 years old to about 15. So like once I was on the board, it was all good.
Yeah.
It was just like that initial getting up that was like such a struggle. But yeah, 16 years old is when I saw it for the first time and like learned how to wakeboard.
When's the first cable experience?
Oh yeah, man. So first cable experience was probably 2011. Yeah. So I was a senior in high school, and rocked up to Hydrus for the first time. And Hydrus Allen. That was way before Little Elm was around. And Yeah, no, that was it actually cable. It's interesting. I think because I was riding boat here and there up until riding cable. Cable, once you get the start, it kind of was like it felt way more natural than it ever did behind the boat. I think too, a big part of it that drew me in as well. It just reminded me so much of like the skate park. It's like, hey, show up with your own gear and just ride until you don't feel like riding anymore. And just session, get practice tricks like consistently. But yeah, no, Hydrus Allen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, do you get into it after that? After you go to Hydrus, you get a season pass or whatever, and you're like, oh, this is it. Like, this is the thing now.
So, well, I didn't get a season pass, but yes, I was like avidly, like I was going a lot, like frequently. I graduated high school in 2011, and then that fall, I went down to College Station. I went to the junior college in Bryan, Blinn College. So I was kind of in this like very remote area when I was like down there. But where I was like hour and a half away. Yeah, about an hour and a half away from BSR, about like 2.5, 3 hours from Hydrus. And then I was about little over an hour and a half from Wake Nation Houston. So when I was down, going to college at Blinn, I would start going down to Wake Nation because my mom lived in Houston. So, wasn't, like I said, didn't get a season pass, wasn't probably going as much as I wanted to, but I was going as much as I could.
Yeah.
And then, I would say like the first park I got really familiar with though was Wake Nation Houston.
Okay. When does the Cali move happen?
Yeah. So
I'm very curious about this.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of like a backstory / build up to it as well.
Yeah.
So like I said, in 2011 was going to Blinn, finished those 2 semesters. And then after that second semester, I was like, all right, for the summer, I'm going to go back to Dallas and just be up in Dallas for the summer. So that's like June of 2012. Moved back up to Dallas, so keen on riding. Like, yes, I'm going to be around Hydrus like all summer long, just going to ride all summer. Dude, first day going to ride, being back home. It was literally like the day after I got back home. Went to Hydrus, riding doubles with my buddy Robbie. Went and threw a tantrum on the backside, came down super straight-legged, blew my right knee out. Yeah, ACL, LCL, meniscus, all one go.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and so that kept me on the bench for, I didn't ride for probably like 10 months. So I had the surgery about 2 months later. Then it was all recovery and like that fall. And then in September, I moved down to like the Houston area to be back with like around my mom. And I had a buddy down there and he's like, hey man, there's this guy named Rob Mendieta, and he's like, he has this company called Empire Wake. And what he does is he goes around the country and he hosts these college wakeboard contests. He needs someone to go with him to help him. Like, I can't do it. Do you want to go? And I was like, man, like coming off this injury, like can't really do much. I'm like, yeah, like didn't really have a job at the time down in Houston. So I was like, yeah, I'll go. Which was really cool. It was a great experience. It had its ups and downs, learned a lot, gained a lot of perspective. But what got me out to Cali is at the end of the tour, the Northern California stop was up here in Chico.
Yeah.
And the way that we we went from, what did we do? We went from Utah to California and we came through like Reno. So like, dude, went up Mount Rose, came over the opposite side, and the first thing I see of California is Lake Tahoe, and like a October afternoon. So there's like some snow on the ground, and like just stopped and like took it all in and was like, man, this is the spot. Like, I don't know what has to happen, but this is the spot. And then like, fast forward and we do the NorCal stop in Chico. I meet a lot of the Sac State wakeboarders, like my buddy Ben Hernstead, my buddy Matt Tawney, like two of my Brock Shaw, just like 3 of my really, really good friends I met out here. We stayed in contact after the tour was over. And there's this guy who's like, hey, I have this job out here. Like you pretty much move out to Sacramento and it's yours. So fast forward like May of 2013, I like made the jump, and I committed to the move, and I like was very like, I don't know about this job, right? but I knew that cable wakeboarding was like so new to California. Because at that time, Wake Island was built. So in like the end of 2013, Wake Island was built, but it wasn't open yet. And it opened in like 2012, it was open. But it opened up like 2013, probably like March, like in the spring.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, just even if the job doesn't work out, like wakeboarding is so new out there, like just like go out there and like jump on the wave, jump on the wave. Like you're coming off this injury. You're like back around the sport. Like just go out there and like see what happens. So of course got out here, the job thing, a bunch of promises, didn't turn out to be much, but in that, you know, I'm out here, I'm riding at Wake Island and, and then that's kind of like towards the end of that year is when I meet Scott and April and they're like, yeah, we're building Velocity over in Woodland. I kind of jumped on board with them to help build.
Okay, so you're in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. There's two cables, which turn out to end up being, I think we were talking earlier, like two of the most, like some of the sickest cables. Mm-hmm. And they're the only two in California full size. I don't know if there's any 2.0s that I don't know of.
No, I mean, there were. It's actually funny, like literally 10 minutes away from Wake Island. Yeah. It was more of like a boat lake. They would host contests there. Like, in fact, those college contests I was talking about, there are a few there. It's called the Water Sports Farm, but they had a 2.0, but more of like a training cable. Sure. No like features or anything, but that's like closed down as well. So it's literally these two. That's it.
Okay, so you're in Sacramento. You're wakeboarding. These two parks open up. You're in with them. What's the progression of you and wakeboarding in your relationship with it? Are you like, you move here, you start riding, you're like, okay, I want to be a pro wakeboarder, and like, I'm gonna try and like, what's your mentality going into it? Yeah,
well, I think it really starts back when it was like that time coming off the injury and like going on that tour.
Yeah.
I kind of like just weirdly enough, I was like, you know what? Because when I blew my knee out, I mean, I didn't have like a bag of tricks or anything. I was like learning and progressing at this time. So after that, I was just kind of like, my mindset was like, well, I've done one of the worst injuries I can do. So like, as long as I'm not doing that, like this should go like fairly well.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was kind of like my mentality. So I was just like, yeah, I want to be a professional wakeboarder. I want to pursue this. I think there's opportunity, like, out in California with the cable, like with cable riding being so new. I just saw this like weird kind of small window of opportunity that I wanted to be a pro wakeboarder, but I felt the only way I could do it is if I made that move to California to jump on this like new wave of riding, because I was kind of set back with the injury with like timing and stuff. But yeah, that was kind of my mindset. It was like, I didn't really know the way, didn't know the path, but like the intention was there. And thankfully, like I was able to like ride a lot frequently at Wake Island and then even more, at Velocity. But yeah, that was the mindset, I think, was just like, I want to pursue this.
Okay. Walk through the next like 5 or so years, because you're like getting into it more and more and more. You're starting to film videos, you're traveling. I think you're doing some contests. Like, what's the progression up into the wakeboard scene?
Yeah, man. After like being here for that first year, I was like starting to like really progress well at Wake Island. The local liquid force rep at the time, his name is Chris Patterson, as well as Ryan Schubert. They had Left Coast Liquid Force going on, and at that time I was kind of like struggling with like breaking boards. So they hooked it up and I jumped on with Left Coast Liquid Force, and that gave me even more like I really want to like I want to figure this out. Like I want to get good at this. I want to figure this out. Like this gives me extra motivation. Then like jumping on board with Velocity, it's like, okay, now this other brand new sick park, and then like seeing the features they got, it's like, okay, there's a lot of progression that can happen here. And I would say over that like first year of being here, being at Wake Island, being at Velocity, being around some of these riders like Kaysen, it was just like super inspiring, and like the drive and the push to get better was there being around like those riders. And yeah, man, it was just riding velocity every single day for, oh my gosh, like years, you know. But the buildup was like, 2015 took my first international trip to the Philippines. So felt pretty confident, like 2013, 2014, just ripping at Wake Island and velocity every day, progressing. And Kaysen had just taken his, I think it was one of his last Philippine trips. And he was just continued to talk about it like all year. And I was like, man, this place sounds so good. Seeing the videos from it, I was like, man, if I'm going to do a wakeboard trip, like it has to be the Philippines. And then like, thankfully, fast forward to like January of 2015, my buddy that I mentioned, Matt, Tawny, him and I made the jump and we went to the Philippines. The first trip we went was like 3.5 weeks. Super, super fun, unreal time. Like, not only just being there in the Philippines, but not only just being at CWC and Republic, but like being around all these other riders, like JB O'Neill, like both of us are from Texas. We have mutual friends, but we just like had never met. And like, boom, there we get to meet JB O'Neill, get to meet like Jeremiah Hop, like some like, just like some like killers, Sam DeHaan, like, and so, just like, man, unreal first trip, unreal experience. Come back in 2015, just like so juiced up, so fired to like ride. Like, find out that season that Velocity is going to host the Monster Triple Crown that summer. So I was like, okay, cool. Like this is, and then in the same time, that spring is when the first Jamboree was happening. So thankfully too, like at that point had met Trever, linked up with Trever, and he was like super, super helpful with getting me the wild card video filmed, and made that push. Didn't make it in, but it was really cool because I felt like it was like the first kind of time the industry got to like see my riding and stuff, which was really cool. And then then the Triple Crown happened, man, and that was an unreal experience, honestly. Like, from start to finish, like having everybody from wakeboarding that I like had looked up to, just like there, like passing handles to him for practice and stuff. Unreal, unreal. And dude, thankfully did like really well. Made it to semis in that contest. Rode head to head against Dom. Lost
Dom
to him.
Hernler?
Yeah, lost to him like by, I think it was like a point. And
so it was close.
It was really close, man. It was really, really close. And which was even cooler. He goes on to win the contest, and that was the year he won like every contest. Yeah. Like where he went undefeated. But yeah, no, it was just like super motivating, super really, really cool experience. And yeah, from there, I think it was cool because it was just kind of a natural build from there. Like opportunities, thankfully, like kind of came from that. Was able to go to Surf Expo for the first time that fall, which was like the next weekend was the Triple Crown at Terminus. So got to like go and compete in that as well. And then at that, Courtney Angus was there, and she had offered me to go and coach in Australia for that winter at Cables. So went and did that, and that was like 2015 to 2016. Lived in Australia, worked at Cables, coaching wakeboarding, riding there with like Aaron, Tommy Matthews, John Dreiling was there, Adam Whitaker, Ryan Peacock, like unreal experience, man. And from there, just another Philippines trip after that. And yeah, man, it just kind of like,
you're in it
at that point, it at that point, man. And like things with Liquid Force were progressing as well. Like, at that time, getting more opportunities there. Yeah. In it at that point.
All right. So I do have a request to ask you from your time in Australia about Daquan, Traquan, and the Nerf Needle Wars.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude, that was a crazy
I don't
time.
know what this.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Oh, dude, no. It's, man. It's like one of those experiences you like look back and you're just like, dude, why did we do it? But it was fun while we were doing it. So we had there's a situation where there's a few of us, Adam, myself, Ryan, and John, kind of all needed to find a place. And thankfully there's like this, just the greatest greatest human being in the world. Her name's Amanda. She's just like a wake mom there at the park. Her oldest son, Bailey, was riding. Just super involved with the community there at the wake park. Took us in and hosted us for probably well over like 4 months, four of that 6 months. Absolute legend. But yeah, like over there, dude, like, you know, she had some younger kids as well. So like they had these Nerf guns, and yeah, man, like it got to a point where like regular Nerf wars got a little boring, and we would put like pins in the end of them, and it just made it like way more consequential. And it was devastating at times. I took a shot that has been talked about for years now, but from Ryan.
You took Ryan shot you with?
Yeah, dude, it was a clean shot. It was a clean shot.
I'm in a spot you don't want to get shot.
In the worst spot.
Okay.
To get shot.
In the
worst spot to get shot.
We'll leave that up to the imagination, but if you're a dude, I can only imagine that. I mean, besides the eye, I think that's kind of it.
Yeah, you know, and there's been parts of me that have, you know, I would have even taken the eye at times. It was, yeah.
Oh, man.
It was traumatic there for a few days. But no, man, it was, yeah, those wars were crazy. Those were crazy.
Good times in Australia.
It really was. But the craziest part about that, it wasn't like a every once in a blue moon. It was like, dude, we'd get off work, go back to Amanda's, and it was like, get dinner, just all kind of sitting around, and it would just like start out of nowhere.
Just picking up guns.
Every day. Before work, after work, every day. It was like kind of sick.
It's a war zone in the
Dude,
house there.
It was. No one was safe either. No one. But yeah, that was
all right. I think we kind of dive into riding a little bit and your riding style. So I'll put some clips in, but for those who have not seen Tanar ride, in my view, when I watch you, it's aggressive and proper are the two words I would use to describe your riding. Very unique. And it fits well to certain music. So when I was watching, and like that's just some, like Pedro has certain music that fits well. Riders have certain music that fit their riding, but you are more aggressive and proper. And so I watched the first Spicy video, and you're like the opening section of it, and I think it's like a rap song. I think it's from G-Eazy or something, and it's like just kind of like punches you in the face in a sense. And you even said that like this wasn't like you wanted way more out of this part. Like this is kind of not a ton from your riding, but
right.
Kind of just lean into like your style and approach because it is so unique.
Yeah. You know, I took a lot of influence, I would say, at that time from like Chris Jocelyn. Like at that 2014, 2015 time, I was really trying to like find my style. I didn't really know like what I wanted my wakeboarding to look like, but I had little bits, like tidbits of things that like, I guess inspired me.
Yeah.
The biggest one though was like Chris Jocelyn and the way he, like that first Plan B part when like they welcomed him to the team. That whole section was just like hammers, but the way it was more so like not even the tricks I was watching, but his like approach, his approach and his ride away. I was just like, okay, there's something there that's like that to me is like elevating his riding and like the way that I'm, I guess, perceiving it, you know, or watching it or viewing it or being inspired by it. But yeah, no, I don't know. There was like, I think it's a little bit of that being inspired by that style, but also too like, I mean, not to get like, you know, cryptic or anything, but I think at the time too, whatever I was like dealing with in life too, I think I channeled that kind of energy into my riding as well. And I think that's like a big part of where that aggressive style came from as well. Cause it's like one of those things I know on the water, like I can just be myself. Like I can just, you know, I can edge at this as hard as I want. I can land on this as hard as I want. I can, you know what I mean? Like I can just, I don't know. It was like a way to express myself, I guess. And, you know, whatever emotions or things I was dealing with or going through at the time, I think that was like a heavy influence on my style too.
Okay. So that's interesting thinking about like what you're dealing with in life and how that affects your riding. What do you mean by what was going on in your life, I guess, that reflected in your riding?
Yeah, man. At that time, like 2014, I was kind of just dealing with some family stuff. Yeah. And, I like had shut out almost like a whole side of my family. Kind of like, unexpectedly too. It was kind of like a sudden situation that happened, and that was like right before my first Philippines trip.
Okay.
And I think it was one of those where like it was like kind of this almost like this grudge, this kind of like, okay, like, you know, this is the situation, this is like what I'm gonna do with it, like I'll show you kind of thing. And I think that like really did carry me, that kind of energy like really did carry me for a long time, and like kind of like made me think outside the box and like yeah, you know, like put it all out there and leave it all out there. Yeah. That was like a big portion, I would say, of the energy that I put into my riding.
Makes sense. And I mean, I think it fits. Some people's style, I feel like, doesn't fit necessarily with like their riding, and it's like, no, I mean, it seems very natural. Like I used to watch all sorts of Instagram edits from you. I think I messaged you like before I came out. I was like, what happened to this one edit where like I like used to rewatch it every now and again, and I was like, where is this? This thing was a fucking banger, dude. Like where'd it go? And I think you took it down or something. I don't know. But
yeah.
I was lost in the ether. All right, so let's talk about times at Thai Wake Park, because I was watching this video, and I mean, Thai Wake Park has always been known as a popular winter destination. It's always popping off, but like in this video specifically, we got Reen, Blake Bishop, Victor Salmon, Gunther Oka, Jules Sherrod, Pedro Caldas, Matty Munty, Daniel Grant, Yannick. Like there are, like the list goes on. Like it's seemingly like literally everybody was at Thai Wake Park. So like, what were the vibes there at Thai Wake Park during that time when you're like in the scene?
Man, the vibes were high every single day. It was, especially like, man, dude, for like my experience, it was so cool because number one, like as I'm like, you know, meeting people, like making my progression and like meeting people through the industry, like first and foremost, I'm a fan. Like I was a fan before anything. I'm a fan of all these guys I'm riding with, you know what I mean? So for me, that always added to the like, oh, the vibes are always high because I'm like getting to ride with people that I like truly have looked up to for a long time. But no, everything was, dude, days were so cool. Like you wake up, some days, you know, you're filming early, which is like unreal. Like that scene at Thai Wake Park, like that early morning, first on the water, breaking the glass, like they're honest. It's like the best. That experience is unreal. But then even just like normal days are super fun. You're riding with the best riders in the world. You're like, you guys are pushing each other. You're getting cool clips. You're riding unreal features. And then, like when you're done riding, man, you take your motorbike, go get some really good, cheap food, and just kick it. Like, you know, Daniel lived right down the road, so always going over to the farm and kicking it with them. It was always fun. And, just taking the motorbike out and like going and experiencing Klong 6 or Klong 7, I think. I can't remember exactly. Don't hold that to me. Or even just like in the city of Bangkok, you know. But yeah, no, vibes are high, man. It was cool. Spicy was being filmed. Plastic Playgrounds was like, you know, right around the corner as well. I think it was like either into January or beginning of February that year. So it's like back-to-back things, but it was cool.
Yeah, I always forget that Plastic Playgrounds had, I mean, was it just 1 year that they had to stop there, or was it a couple? I mean,
I think it was 1 year. I think it was that 2018 year that's when they did Thai Wake Park at the beginning of the year, Liquid Leisure in like the middle of the summer, and then they did Bali. I think October. Yeah. It was like a 3-stop.
Yeah, that was
deal.
Cool.
It was
a huge fan of that like series. It seemed easy to follow and pay attention to, and Thai Wake Park is a great spot for it.
Oh man, it was perfect. It was so sick. I'm really bummed I didn't get to ride in the contest that year. It was a bummer, especially being there for like the month before. Like so used to the park already starting to kind of put lines together, even though the features weren't like fully set like when I first got there. Still able to kind of like chalk something up, like, okay, like I think this is what I want to be doing.
A lot more comfortable than when you just pop in for like a Triple Crown at Terminus and you're like, all right, I'm here for a couple of days. And let's see what we can do.
100%.
All right, let's talk, you know, kind of sponsor situation, because like you're filming videos, you're doing the contests, you're traveling. I mean, you're from a wakeboarder who's trying to make it, probably thinking like I'm checking off a lot of boxes. Like, you know, I'm kind of doing the thing. Like, what's that sponsorship looking like as you're like kind of getting bigger, I guess?
Yeah. So the main sponsor that I like started off with was Left Coast Liquid Force. And then like, I would say spring of 2017, and like through this time as well, not only just riding, not only like, you know, posting content, but like helping out at boat shows, helping out at just like local events here at Wake Island, and then traveling and filming and stuff and competing. But that, like in 2017, like April of 2017, which was really cool, they moved me up to the international team. And they were like, yeah, there's going to be some room for some travel budget potentially. And I was like, okay, cool. That was really cool. And it was mostly Liquid Force at the time. After that, though, like Follow, kind of jumped on board with Follow there for a bit, and Waterco with Hayden with the wax, because at that time Hayden was figuring something out with the wax. The wax was like, all right, this is the way. Like, we're figuring it out for sure. Like, this is really helping. I think a big part of that too is just like kind of the black top on the rails. Yeah. That velocity, they just kind of cook in the sun. So there's like some science there, but no, it was like Liquid Force primarily, Follow, and then Waterco. I think too, like there's some smaller like companies as well that were helping me out. Like Church Grip, for example, was you know, helping me out. Edgar's a really cool guy. But yeah, I would say it was mostly like those three. Those were the main three.
So you're riding, was the Noodle the board you rode? Like, when did that come into play, that board?
Yeah, that so they were coming out with it for 2018. So in 2017 for like I think it was like 2014 to about 2017. They hosted the like the product, or what am I trying to say? It's like the annual meeting they would host in Sacramento.
Like Liquid Force.
Yeah, it was like the sales meeting. And so pretty much going over and reviewing all like next year's gear and stuff. Yeah. So at that one in 2017, that's when they like kind of introduced the Noodle. And I was like, man, this is sick. Kind of like, you know, a board that doesn't have a name on it or anything. And it's this brand new shape. It's super flexy, all wood. And I was like, oh, that's right up my alley. Yeah. So yeah, no, like pretty much after that, just started riding the Noodle, and like love like favorite shape, hands down favorite shape. But yeah.
So
2017,
like I feel like what happens, I guess, with Liquid Force, the Noodle, this whole. I feel like at some point something comes to a head, or
right,
you know,
right.
Like I
no, most definitely did.
Walk me through that.
Yeah, so it was like 2 years of riding the board, and no one else at the time was really riding it. And not only not riding it, like it had some like mixed reviews from some of the other riders too. So I was like, okay, that's like not a bad thing. Like that's good. And I loved it. I had nothing but good things to say about it. Still do. But yeah, like 2018, they, at that same like kind of product meeting, that sales meeting, they were talking about like this new shape, and like the ASIM noodle. So the asymmetrical noodle, which at the time it was like, okay, it's going to be like, you know, one side's completely different than the other. The tip and tail, it's like all asymmetrical. And so it was like a cool concept hearing about it and everything. Well, then they like kind of approached me to like kind of help, because I was so used to the noodle. They're like helping them prototype the ASIM noodle. Yeah. And in that too, I think I was under the impression as well, because I'm like, they're sending me these prototypes, you know, like I'm like testing, then they're asking for my opinion. Like Jimmy's like truly asking, like, what would you change? Like, why would you change it? Like pretty detailed stuff. Yeah. And yeah, no, I think I think there's, you know, some talk. I think it was a little bit of me, maybe expectation as well, but it was like kind of, it felt like it was kind of like teeing up to like, hey, this could probably be your pro model, you know, depending on how everything goes, like this, if we follow through with doing this shape, you know, that's what it was coming to be and seeming like. And I told him like the second prototype, like Jimmy smashed it. I was like, dude, this is the one. They sent me a third one, and it was good, but I was just like so convinced that the second one, I was like, dude, this is the moneymaker.
Yeah.
And the way to like, I had like a whole, like, cause when I'm like prototyping it, I'm seeing like the sides are different. I'm like, okay, I think there's like a whole like way to go about this, like to market this. And so I would flip the boots and I would ride the board both ways. So I would ride with one side with like the flat side on my toes, the curved side on my heels. And then I would flip it to where it's like opposite. And so like what I was trying to, I guess, explain and like build to is like, man, this is like two boards in one. Like this is like two fully different experiences in one board.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, again, like it was all kind of building into that. And then that was the year, 2019 was the year of the Park Pros. So the first one was Wake Island. The second one was in Illinois.
The Quarry.
Yes, the Quarry. And then the third one was at Terminus. And I was helping, and that was like another kind of part with Liquid Force as well. Like I was able to help with some of the like videography stuff. So I was like filming those Park Pros and riding in them as well. It got to like the second one, and there's just some kind of weird tension between the team manager and I at the time. And I think at the Quarry, there's like super unfortunate situation. I had finished the Wake Island video completely, and Hayden was with me, Hayden Berg, and we were in the hotel. I just finished, and I went to, my storage was like I was like full, and I went to like start deleting stuff, and I went and I deleted the video that I just like literally spent hours film, like editing. Oh, dude, devastating. Like next day I was supposed to go ride West Rock, and I like totally had to tell Daniel, like, dude, I thank you. I'm sorry. I like as much as I want to take you up on this, bro, I just like, I'm cooked right now. I got to go do this. Like pressure is on. So literally, dude, like didn't ride, dropped Hayden off, went back to the hotel, dude. I stayed in the hotel for like literally probably 12 hours straight and just re-edited the whole thing in a matter of like 12 hours to be able to give to Aaron Grace the next day. And yeah, so in that, like, get that done, don't sleep, give him the edit the next morning, film the contest the next day. I decide in that, because I didn't practice at all. I was like, I'm not going to enter this one. Like, I'm going to sit out for this one. But filming it and everything. And then just like kind of at the end, there's like, I think it was just I was in a very weird state, like not sleeping emotionally. I'm like all up and down. There's just like kind of a weird thing that was thrown out there and said, and it just didn't sit right with me. And like, I kind of held on to it. And then in that as well, it was like, it was kind of made known, like, yeah, the ASIM Noodle, like, thank you for helping us, but it's not going to be yours type deal. And that, like, all of that, I think it was just this massive, like buildup of all these things happening at once. So at Terminus, man, I rode the ASIM Noodle in that contest. So much fun. Like, literally love that board. And speaking of heel side crails, like they had the heel side hip on that. So I was like doing that there. Yeah. Loved it. But yeah, dude, didn't do well in the contest. Made it through the first round. Then got knocked out. Went up to Watson after, and I was just like, hey man, like, I just, some things have been said, some things are happening. I kind of found out this information about the new Noodle, and yeah, man, I just don't know. I don't know if it's like gonna work anymore. And Watson was like he was like very receptive. Obviously he was like, dude, like, what's going on? I told him everything, and he respected my decision. But yeah, just kind of told him, like, I think it's time to part ways with LF. I'll let Don know. And by the time I flew home that night and got back in Sacramento, Don had already reached out. So I reached out to Don, and we were talking, and unfortunately it wasn't like the best conversation. It was a hard conversation for sure. And yeah, we parted ways after that. And yeah, man, it was that after that is like, that's when it really got kind of pretty heavy, I would say. Cause then it was like, identity, like where, like, I was just like, so like I was a wakeboarder, like, figuring out identity after that was like a real big part of the next step of the journey. Like, oh man, dude, it was like, yeah, pretty wild. But that's kind of the whole story with the Noodle, with Liquid Force, and yeah, kind of how things came to a unfortunate end.
So you start painting boards, right?
Yeah.
At that point, because you probably have a few.
Yeah, I had a lot of noodles, man.
Okay.
Like, I had like a couple. I can't remember the exact size of these ones, but the regular noodle, I had like 2 of the smaller size, like 3 of the big size. Had all 3 prototypes of the ASIM. Yeah, I spray painted them, kept riding them. Yeah, and did that for a bit.
Was anybody like, yo, don't paint the fucking boards, or was like,
no, no, because at that point, like I talked to Don, and we parted ways, and yeah, it was one of those like, just kind of do it.
It's shitty, but I like always appreciate a painted board just because there's a story. I know there's always a story behind it, and like that's interesting to me.
100%.
Usually, it's not a good thing, but it is like, oh, something happened.
Right.
Good or bad, brand, whatever it is, like something happened.
100%.
All right. So I guess, how long do you keep pushing the wakeboard thing after this whole thing kind of comes to a head, fizzles out, and like, or do you, like, when do you move on? Like, I guess what's that next like step?
Yeah. I kept riding that year, and well, see, and another big part that I kind of forgot to speak on, like sponsor wise, Raw came into the picture. Raw rolling papers came into the picture.
So it was definitely the edit that was a banger that I watched. Dude, it had the raw rolling papers at the beginning.
Yes. No. Yeah. So that was another sponsor that had come in, and I wish I would have like spoke on this all together. But I think too, what I was trying to do at the time, once that sponsor came in, I realized, I'm in a position where I live in a state where obviously partaking is totally cool. It's totally legal. It's fine. And I looked around the industry, and it's like, I mean, the best thing you can do if you're like trying to progress in anything, like just doing something different than everyone else. Right.
100%.
And, I was still am huge fan of Boo Johnson. Right. And I kind of just saw like kind of his trajectory. It's like, he's a really good skater, but he's not focused on some of like the contest stuff. He's focused on style, filming parts, and just like the lifestyle of it. And I think I just like really tried to like maybe attach myself to that and almost like, kind of make that the push. But yeah, after that, I would say, so I like still had Raw. And so I was like, okay, well, at least if I have boards, like I can just like, I'll just like represent Raw, still like live the lifestyle that I'm like pursuing and trying to live. So I kept wakeboarding. And then, man, I think it was like 2020, obviously everything kind of came to a halt. So I wasn't really like focused on riding during that time. Still was, but like was just kind of riding because I worked at the cable.
Yeah.
And then like fall of 2020, I got into telecommunications, which I was climbing cell towers, and that kind of like took me away just for a bit because I was like traveling for for long periods of time for work. So I just like wasn't around. But took about probably like a 7-month hiatus, and then like jump back on like 2021. And oddly enough, I posted like a few videos, and like Double Up reached out and was just like, hey, like we're trying to go back to America. We just like someone to represent. Like, would you be keen? And I was, and that was like added to motivation to keep riding. But yeah, man, I like kept riding, stopped, and kind of like got back into it.
Okay, so it all kind of came to a head, and then that like you moved on to a different part of your life, got a different job, was removed from wakeboarding for a while. I'm assuming in your head you're like, all right, I'm going to stop pursuing this as a career. Like this is I'm done with it.
Yeah,
in that aspect.
Yeah, 100%. No, I just, but which was so nice though, because it was like it was like so full circle to like why it brought me back to like why I started wakeboarding, and like it like fully brought back the passion though when I like changed that perspective, and I was like, oh no, like this is what I'm going to go do for work, and like this is my job, and then like wakeboarding is like just something I get to do and like partake in, and it became like just like really, really fun again.
Yeah,
really, really fun again.
Yeah, that's such an interesting like dynamic people can have with like either pursuing going pro or taking it very seriously, and then it doesn't work because it doesn't work for almost everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like going to the NFL doesn't work for almost
Right.
anybody.
It's like 1%.
It's a 1% of a 1% of the big things. And so it's like, it's weird to see because you see people like you or others who love it so much, but then maybe it doesn't work out. And then some people become like resentful and like quit altogether because they're like, well, you know what? It didn't work out. I don't want to do it anymore. And it's nice to see people have a full circle moment where they're like, yeah, it didn't work out. Take a little break, go strap the board back on and be like, you know what? I have no pressure. I don't want to do I don't want to make a living out of it. I don't even want to do contests anymore. I just want to ride for fun.
Right.
And so I think it's like helpful for some people to hear, at least if you are trying to go pro, keep doing it. Pursue the fucking passion.
Oh,
give
dude,
it everything
send
you
it.
got.
Exactly. Send it.
But if it doesn't work out, and maybe that's not the mindset to have. Like, I think if you're trying to make it happen, you don't have that if it doesn't work out. But maybe when it doesn't work out, if that happens to be it not working out for you, like, you know, think back and be like, okay, it was fun. Give it some time. Take time.
100%.
You're going to need it probably.
But, But
don't be afraid, I guess, to come back.
Right.
And not fuck the industry. Who cares?
Right.
Like, just go ride.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Just ride. No, 100%. And like, that is like truly what happened is I was holding on to like so much, I guess, emotion surrounded with it. And I finally was able to separate the emotion from it and like actually looked at the facts of like step back, zoomed out, and like had a different perspective of just like, dude, I started like focusing on everything that wakeboarding provided for me. Like, and I like separated like necessarily, I guess what you would say, what I wanted to happen. And I like really shifted my perspective to like, okay, what did happen? And like being able to just like practice gratitude for the things that like did take place. I mean, dude, wakeboarding has given me and has like truly gave me so much, man. And I think putting all of that in the front just like changed everything for me in the best way, the best way.
Absolutely. That's, I think it's good for people to hear and it's good to say for sure. And I think it's time, speaking of Liquid Force and this whole situation, we dive into the LF'n Hot Seat presented by Liquid Force. And we got this one from Don Wallace.
Hey, Tanner, what's happening? I got to start off by saying how fired up Susan and I are for your fight career, seeing what you got going on. It's pretty epic, dude. You know, I know, well, I don't. Well, my wife knows how tough it is to get to the ring, so we're stoked for you. But I'm not here to give you praise. I'm here to put you on the hot seat. So, speaking of fighting, I guess my hot seat question is, if you could either go back in the history of wakeboarding or the current version of wakeboarding, if you could fight somebody, if you could challenge somebody to a fight, who would it be? And I sincerely hope it's not me because I know what that result would be. So anyway, who would you fight in the wakeboard industry if you had your choice? Other than that, hope you're doing good, bud. See ya.
I love it. Liquid Force likes to make wakeboarding fun, and they like to put you on the hot seat. So.
Dude, that is a
good question, man,
bro. Oh my gosh. Oh, Don.
One person, past or present.
Oh man, it's not Don. I don't want to fight Don.
No, there wouldn't be a fight. I mean, I love Don. But
I'm not.
That's a first round.
No,
like,
I'm not.
What was the fastest fight? Ben Askren, dude. You're gonna Ben Askren his ass. Like it's over.
No, man, no. Ah, dude, that's so hard because honestly, like, that's really hard, dude. I'm like.
Does anybody have fight experience where it'd be like actually kind of interesting of like, oh,
I mean, the only one that I can think of that has fight experience is Paul Boucher.
Okay.
But dude, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm trying to fight Paul Boucher, bro. That dude's wild, bro. He's so loose. Dude, this is so hard, man.
Let's say if somebody was like wanted to train to fight. You know, like if Rusty wanted to give it 6 months to train, like I personally would love to see it. I don't know.
I mean, if that were to be the case, 100%. I don't know. I don't want to like
call somebody out.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. That's actually what it feels like. That's why I'm like really like, oh man. I'm not trying to veer away from the question. I'm just like, I'm not trying to call someone out either. Dang, dude.
You do have to give a name.
No, I know. Well, I want to say one name, but I don't want it to come off. I think it would just be funny, but no. It wouldn't be a rider. I don't think I've ever had like any kind of beef with a rider.
Yeah.
Which makes this even worse, dude. It's because it's not a rider. I mean, one person I think I've had the most negative feeling towards. If I wanted to fight someone, it'd probably be Aaron Grace. Aaron, no. Love you, man.
There you go.
Love you, man. It's not like that. I had to choose someone, all right? It's the only person I had beef with, okay? All riders are cool. I didn't have any beef with any riders, so can't say that.
That's a good one. You kind of was building up to it. So that's a thank you, Don, for the hot seat. That was
jokes, Aaron. It's all cool. We're cool. I don't want to fight you, but
unless you want. Unless you want.
I mean,
no.
Sacramento, California.
That was a hot one. That was a hard
one, dude.
Say, dude,
that was a hard one. I haven't heard one like that yet.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Made you say it. So thank you to Liquid Force. Thank you, Don, for that one. That certainly was a hot seat. All right. I think we talk, kind of shift gears a little bit before we get into any fighting or MMA or anything like that.
Okay.
I do want to talk about sobriety because you are 4 years or over 4 years sober now?
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. Yeah, man.
So
no alcohol.
Let's back up to the beginning of what even sparked this whole thing.
Yeah, no. I got into training later in life, like at 28. And with doing that, I knew that I was entering the game late. So I just decided to make a sacrifice. I knew like something would have to change if I wanted to progress fast in this. And I just knew alcohol, like it didn't really benefit you if you're like training cardio and building a gas tank for fighting. So I was like, it was actually kind of a fair trade-off, but it was just a trade-off I made. It was like, hey, if this is the lifestyle I want to pursue in training and like trying to compete and fight, like I'm going to make this sacrifice and this trade for it. And that's really what it came down to. It was February 13th of, 2022. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? I don't need to drink anymore, but I really want to pursue this and like just kind of hold myself accountable. Like as long as I want to fight, I'm not going to drink. And yeah, just been cruising on that.
Can't really have your cake and eat it too in that situation if you're trying to play essentially catch up, right?
Right.
So I guess for the listeners who have no idea, what do you mean by training?
So got into like combat sports, and when I first started, I was in pursuit of MMA, trying to compete in MMA, and then over that like this 5-year period, it's kind of like it's trickled down into boxing. And what I compete in is dirty boxing, which is like kind of a new lane in combat sports. And like the main differences in dirty boxing compared to regular boxing is it's in small 4-ounce gloves and in a cage versus in the 10-ounce big gloves in a ring. And then like rule-wise, the difference is in traditional boxing, when you clinch up, the ref is pretty much separating you after like 3 to 5 seconds. In dirty boxing, you can stay in the clinch and actually work in the clinch. But yeah, when I say training, that's like what I mean. I started training martial arts.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, before we move on from like sobriety, would you say like you had a problem with alcohol getting sober, and is that the only substance that you're like, okay, alcohol is the one that's going to get basically in the way the most of this training?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, no, it didn't have like, I wouldn't say I had like a problem of where it was like abusing alcohol. It wasn't like that. But I mean, yeah, I would like, have a few drinks a few times a week. But no, I would say like the biggest thing was, it was just like a trade-off more so than anything. But no, it wasn't like a big problem, but it was just something I knew wasn't going to benefit me if this is the lifestyle I'm trying to pursue. Yeah,
absolutely. Fair enough. And okay, so before we get into more of the fighting situation, because I think this is really interesting to, just for your life, I think it's so interesting to hear about. I think we do another segment from Slingshot called Slings Hot Takes.
Okay.
So before we kind of move on from wakeboarding, and we'll tap in a little bit later to some more stuff. But,
please.
Fighting is totally different than wakeboarding.
Right.
So I want to kind of draw a line here.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Let's do 10 kind of rapid fire hot take questions that have to do mostly with wakeboarding. First one, favorite wake part?
Favorite wake part? Ooh, okay. Man, I would probably have to say Case and Ciderhoud's part of 2013. I'm spacing on the name of the part. He came out. It was to Jimi Hendrix, Voodoo Child. I'm spacing on the name of the part, but yeah, Case and Ciderhoud's 2013 part. Okay. Yep, for sure.
Yeah, that guy's. I wrote his feature for the first time the other day, and it's,
man, dude,
it's amazing.
If
there was one rider you could bring back in the game, who would it be and why?
Ooh, I would have to say Jonathan Silverschatz.
Yes.
Yeah, Jonathan Silverschatz, and I would say because he just had a way different like perspective on riding. Like the things I would find myself like kind of caring about and like focusing on with like say some of the things that I was wanting to do. I just like learned just through conversation like the things he focuses on and like the way his brain works and like the things he looks for that are like, you know, that are like cool to him, like fascinate me. His whole perspective of wakeboarding is really cool, especially rail riding. I mean, one of the best styles too, just like such a flow chill style, but he's doing like really tech tricks. Jonathan.
Yeah, his style is one of a kind.
I
feel like there are some who are kind of similar, but his
is just
insane. You see one hit from him, you're like,
dude, unreal, man. So flowy.
Most underrated wakeboarder.
I'm gonna say Timo Kappel.
Yeah.
Timo.
If you know, you know. But a lot of people don't know.
No, people don't know, dude. Timo, Timo is a killer, man. Timo.
TK.
Yeah.
Is a video part from a wake park considered a full part?
I think it is. I think it is if that's what you have access to. And because it is a grind to film something, no matter where you're filming at. Say people are busy, like in your crew or whatever, and you're having to just like tripod things, which I've done a lot of. I think a part at a wake park is a full part. But it depends on how it's like. I think whatever the video is, the part is, the section is, I think as long as it's telling a story, it can like fall under that, but I do consider parts at wake parks, full parts for sure.
Can a butt checked trick be an NBD?
Man, I can't say it is. No, I can't say it is. I don't think it can be is what I should say. I don't think it can be. No. I think, I think it's like, okay, that should be like the door opening. Like, okay, it's possible.
Yeah.
But to claim it, it's tough. That's tough.
I think Benny Vidoki was like, his answer was like, you're close. Just go do it again.
Exactly. like that should excite you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that. If there was something, I don't know, if I've ever felt like something wasn't how like I know I want it, it's like, well, I'm still on the cable. I landed. Let's go back and do it again. Like, I don't think they can be. No.
Correct answer. Best female rider steez.
Best female rider steez. What is? Oh man, this is gonna hurt because I'm spacing on her name. She's from France. She was riding a liquid force.
Marie Rougier?
Yes.
Okay.
Dude.
I'd probably fucked her name up, but
yeah, her, bro.
Yeah, she's so sick,
dude. Unreal. Like super aggressive style. Like, yeah, I think right now she's a top dog. I think, but don't get me wrong. Like Campbell, Rivers.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's hard to call, man. The level's unreal. The level's unreal, and just continuing to progress.
Best style overall.
Best style overall, man. Can I separate it, boat and cable?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool. Boat, I would have to say, and like I'm gonna go ahead and just like give 3. But I would have to say Randall, Josh, and Trev, style wise. Cable, man. I'd have to say Joe Battleday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Battleday, man. Yeah, that style is unreal. Like like the presses, the tech, everything, man. It's yeah. Joe's Joe. Joe Safari, man.
Joe is Joe.
Joe's Joe.
Contests or video parts?
I'm gonna say video parts.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Video parts.
All right. Do you wax your board?
I don't.
Cable. You don't?
No. Not anymore.
Okay.
I did. Not anymore though.
Okay. Last one. Most illegal trick.
Ooh, man. I think, dude, it's. Tindy's a pretty, that's a pretty bad one, but most illegal trick. Or, man, I don't want to like throw shade.
Nah, you're cooking. Keep cooking.
Yeah, I would say Tindy, or just like when you see Japan like outside the boot, sometimes it's like, just like inside the boot, like. I don't know. I don't want to be a super critic here, super hard critic on this, but yeah, Japan outside the boot or like Tindy. A Tindy's like pretty illegal. That's
They look so similar to the Tindy and
Yeah,
the Japan outside the boot. It's like tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do get that Japan is hard, but
it is, and that's why I'm like easy with my
you're setting it down soft.
Yeah,
you're not fucking slamming it on the table.
Exactly.
But if you did, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Okay, those are good. Those are good. Good illegal tricks. Thank you to Slingshot for the Slings Hot Takes.
Yeah, thank you.
So I think we dive into fighting.
Okay.
I just want to know what sparked the journey of I'm going to get into this.
I think being just a massive fan, kind of, which is very interesting. It's like how kind of the wakeboarding thing was too, just like massive fan of it, wanted to learn it. And that like window of time between like 2018 and 2020, I was like on the fence of like going to a gym and like joining, but I just like hadn't fully committed, whether it be still riding, work, just life. But yeah, just more so like super interested, being a fan of the sport. And 2021 went to Uriah Faber's gym and signed up, and then just from there, like.
What's the first day? What's the first day like?
Yeah, first day, no, just like kind of go in, and I think the first practice I joined was a jiu-jitsu practice, and which was really fun. Like I love jiu-jitsu, but it's very interesting. Like my kind of bleeds into the wakeboarding, but really I would say is like more so focusing this fighting journey. But the reason I've kind of like narrowed down to boxing, like I told you in 2012, I blew my knee out. And throughout wakeboarding, I didn't have like a crazy situation where like I injured my knee again. But I've learned over time that I retore the ACL graft. So I have a partially torn ACL and like torn medial meniscus in that same knee. So what I'm getting at though is like when I first approached the gym, it was like, all right, MMA is the pursuit. But then like throughout just the journey, I've like learned like what my knee almost, because what it does is like my knee will like catch and like, I don't want to say like locks up, but it like catches and I have to like straighten it to like unlock it in a sense. So that would happen like rolling around in jiu-jitsu. And it's like, okay, like I don't want, like if I'm in a match, like this isn't going to help me at all. So it was like, okay, like maybe MMA isn't the pursuit. So then for a while it was like Muay Thai and boxing. That's all I was doing. But I'm a southpaw, so it's my front leg. So if it gets kicked, it would do that same thing. So I'm like, man, if I'm in a fight, like it's quick. It's like a second it takes to straighten my leg out, but still that second can be,
matter of winning and losing.
Exactly. So, and like I said, it just kept like forcing me into this lane of boxing, because now in boxing, like my leg's fine, doesn't bother it at all. So yeah, and that's kind of what landed me with boxing. But yeah, like first day was jiu-jitsu, and then like from years on, it just trickled down into just boxing.
Okay, so what's the end goal, I guess, because you had your first, I don't know this world that well. You had your first fight, official. Mm-hmm. What, I guess before we even get, what's the goal? Like, what's the path to get to your first fight?
Yeah. Well, thankfully too, excuse me. Along this journey, I met my coach, who is like now like literally like a brother and like best friend to me. Which I'm super grateful for, because when I first got in, it was like, okay, just show up every day, train. And I just like was super hungry to compete, but like having someone else that's like been a part of it for like ages, kind of tell you like, hey, I know you want to compete, but like, it's better if you kind of take your time to like get better at this, because it's better to learn lessons in the gym than it is like, in a fight. Yeah. You're still going to learn in the fight. Like you're going to learn hard lessons in a fight, but like, it's better to have them, if you can learn more of the lessons in the gym, it's better that way. So yeah, like in 2022, I competed a couple times. They're called smokers. They're not sanctioned. It's just like, and like knockouts aren't even allowed. But they're like little Muay Thai bouts. So I did like 2 of those in 2022, got kind of like my feet wet with that, and was like, okay, step back after the second one. It's like, okay, I see what Isaac's saying now. Like I do need to like, I just need to focus on training and like focus on getting better. And then like competing will come eventually. And then, yeah, it was like last year, probably like July, August, I was like, okay, I went to Isaac and was like, hey, I think I'm ready to compete. He agreed. He was like, yeah, you're definitely ready. And the path to competing, so like boxing wise, there's like USA Boxing. That's kind of like the standard. It's a nationwide organization, and they're always hosting events. So like last year I tried to get like 4 different fights with them, just traditional boxing. Didn't work out, just had fights fall through. And then there's a matchmaker that trains at our gym for an organization called Pure Combat. And him and I were just kind of chopping it up in December. And he was like, yeah, I'm matchmaking for Pure Combat. We have dirty boxing. Is that something you'd be interested in? Because I told him I was struggling to get fights. And, I was like, man, like, yeah, it sounds cool. Like I'm boxing, and like, yeah, the main difference is the small gloves in a cage, but like, that's cool with me. So yeah, and that's kind of like, that's been the path so far. I was going to get a fight on December 6th last year. But it was kind of too close when I found out. So they didn't have an opponent. So the first one was March 21st of this year.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What's it like when it becomes a reality, even before you step into the arena? Like what's it like when you're like, okay, it's fucking going on? Like, what's your training process? Like what changes, I guess, from, all right, you're training to, okay, now I'm training for a fight.
Yeah. So you usually, thankfully too, the matchmakers, they like once you get an opponent, you're finding out like well over 8 weeks before. So what we've done is Isaac pretty much puts me through like an 8-week camp. And like, so the difference too from like normal training to the camp is just like pretty much the intensity and kind of managing the intensity. So like normal training, you're kind of just, yeah, there's intense days. Yeah, there's not intense days. It's kind of all over the place. But when I've, from my experience, what I felt is like once you get into camp, it's like it's managed a lot better. So what it would look like is like Monday through Wednesday, strength and conditioning. And then Thursday through Saturday is sparring. And then Sunday technically could be the rest day or just like a little more cardio. In the sparring though, it's like kind of a buildup. So like Thursday, it's like lighter, it's in the big gloves. Friday, still light, still in the big gloves. And then on Saturday though, it's actually up in the cage. And the fights that I fight, they're 3 rounds and they're 3 minutes long. So on those Saturdays, what we would do is We do 4 rounds, 3 minutes long, but every round it's a fresh body coming in. And so
against you,
against me. So, so just the intensity, and you're actually in the small gloves now.
Yeah.
So, it changes things for sure. But yeah, I would say the biggest thing from just normal training to getting into a camp is just the intensity and managing the intensity. Cause it's all about once you commit and you get the opponent, it's like, okay, now it's like everything's got to be calculated because you got to make it to the dance. You know what I mean? But intensity has to be there. Like you really have to simulate a fight for 8 weeks leading up to it, but also like, okay, I still have to make it to the fight, you know?
I got a lot of questions on this.
Yeah.
So,
No.
All right. So like you're going, you're 8 weeks out, you know your opponent. Are there strategies of like, has this guy fought before? Or is this his first fight?
So my first opponent, he had a few dirty boxing fights.
Okay.
My last opponent, he was making his debut in dirty boxing.
Okay. So the first one, are you like, do you watch his fights that he's had before? Is that a possibility to do?
Yeah. So there was footage from the last one. So he fought on that December 6th card, my first opponent. So I was able to watch, I think I got like maybe two rounds of footage from him.
Yeah.
And the biggest things that you're picking up on are like the main details you need to know: height, reach, and what stance he's in. Okay. So first opponent is funny. I was told he was 6'2". He's an ortho, and so he had the height and the reach on me. So for 8 weeks, I'm training with the 6'3", like southpaw, which is fine. That part didn't really matter. It's the same. It's more so just figuring out the range and the distance. Yeah. But yeah, 8 weeks training with the 6'3" dude, and then go into the face-offs, and we face off, and I'm like looking eye to eye with him, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like I was prepared for 6'2", but we're like the same height, so that's cool. But no, as long as you have, height, reach, and what stance they're in, that's like the main thing. If they have footage, it is good to watch because the things you're watching for are bad habits and tendencies. So my first opponent, for example, he had a really, really bad habit when he would throw his jab. Instead of bringing it back to his face, he would jab and drop it. So there's a window that I could counter off that. And I was really building around that a lot. Didn't land that shot in the fight, but it was presenting itself. Yeah, 100%.
Okay. You're trying to find weaknesses that you can expose.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So what's it like going into the first fight? Because I watched your walkout. I don't think it was streamed, but like I watched the highlights or whatever. And obviously you're not in the fucking MMA, but like you're in an arena. There are people there. There's lights. Like there's an announcer. Like it's a big deal. Like, what's your heart rate going into it? How do you manage the nerves of going into your first one? You don't know what this has been like or what it's going to be like.
Yeah, no. Honestly, it's the nerves. Like the nerves were there, but it's interesting. They're there. I think because just the awareness of like what you're getting into, what you're about to get into. But honestly, the nerves, like everything was like very calm. Because all I would reflect on is just how hard that 8 weeks was. Like knowing I crossed my T's, I dotted my I's, I got my ducks in a row, and like just like consciously like thinking about how hard that 8 weeks was. So that really helped with the nerves. I've also, for the last like about 3.5 years now, I've worked with a sports psychiatrist as well. And he actually lended me a tool. It's like a visualization tool. It's like a frequency machine. So you put these glasses on and these headphones, and there's like different frequencies you can tune into, and everything's in sync with these lights and the glasses. So like day of, like showing up to the arena, all good, like felt really good, felt good after the face off, everything. Showed up to the arena, and then for like the first 2 hours, all the fighters are like together. You're having to do your medicals. You're having to do media. You're like with the DJ getting your walkout song, like everything. You're getting your gloves, everything. So like everyone's like right there. You're like, a few feet away from your opponent, and it's kind of a weird energy, right? You're like, everyone knows why we're here, right? But we're all just like kind of like in the same room, chopping it up in a sense. So that's like when I first started kind of feeling like that day where I like first started like feeling a little bit of those nerves. And it was cool though, because I had that machine. So I just went, after I finished my portion of all that, I just went back in the back, used that machine, and kind of like found my breath. And once I found my breath again, I was actually able to visualize like all, pretty much everything up until like the fight starting. So like the walkout, like sitting in this, they hold you in a room before you walk out, like sitting in that room, walking out, walking up to the commission, and you know, they put Vaseline on your eyes. They're like checking your fingernails, checking everything, your mouth guard, stepping into the cage, like visualized all that. And it was able to kind of like pull me back into like, okay, yeah, this is what we're doing. Like, yeah, this is all good. Like, you know, kind of thing. But that was like really the only time I like felt those nerves. And then was able to kind of like work around it. And then, yeah, once you're in there though, man, like, yeah, dude, everything just goes away. Like everything turns off. I don't want to say you get tunneled, because you don't. That's actually like what you don't want to do. It's not like a tunnel, but everything, like noise kind of drowns out. And the craziest part about it is like everything's happening really fast, but the way you're like perceiving it, like the way it's like slow but fast. It's the craziest like realm.
Yeah.
It like really is. It's interesting. And like the sound's completely drowned out.
That's wild. How do you pick the walkout song?
Oh man. Well, I knew like it was, I've been a huge fan of hardstyle. I mean, shout out to Dan, Yannick. I would say Blake Bishop, like they were like Windsor, golly, like so many people, huge influence to loving hardstyle. And I just, it was like between like kind of I think it was a country song, and not like a country song, but kind of that style, and hardstyle. And I was just like, dude, you know what? Like, I need to have some part of like my wakeboard journey a part of this, you know, and like if I can have it be in the walkout song, like that's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And there's just so many good ones that I've personally just had, you know, that I'm like, this would be insane to walk out to a fight to, you know? So it was like, no better opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah. And too, a big part of that though is like, for those 8 weeks, you know, there's like Saturday nights where I would just like go and drive. Like I would drive to Velocity, because I'm like 13 minutes away from Velocity, 13 minutes away from Wake Island. So what I would do is I would drive to Velocity, drive up to the gate, turn around, drive to Wake Island, drive to the gate, turn around, drive home. And what I'm doing during that is I'm just listening to the song on repeat, like continuously, the whole thing, and just like starting to like visualize and try to feel those feelings, like to try to cancel them and feel them now, you know? So when it's like night of, it's kind of just like, you know,
I've done that.
Yeah. And that played into kind of what I was telling you with that machine. It's like, oh wait, I've felt this before. I've like visualized this before. Like, yeah, this is what we're doing, type of thing. But yeah, no, there's not too much thought. It was just more so like hardstyle was like a big influence in the wakeboard journey. Like I want to, you know, bring that with me. And another part of it is like, dude, this fighting, man, it's psychological warfare. And my thing is like, you know, if I can have any edge, if I can have anything over you, you know, like if you're not used to hearing that music, like, and you're just up in that cage by yourself, like waiting, and like, that's like blaring, like, dude, I remember the first time I ever heard hardstyle and like the way it made me like feel, it was like, oh dude, this is kind of cool, but it's like uncomfortable in a sense, you know, like, so it's like that plays into it as well. Like, you know, if any little advantage I could have, you know, like make you uncomfortable. You're already uncomfortable. I know you are. So if I can make it a little more uncomfortable, hey, I'll take what I can get.
Okay. So the first fight goes your way.
Yes.
What's it like to win, I guess?
Dude, it's actually, it's a pretty crazy feeling. And my coach, Isaac, so he like kind of told me too. He's like, bro, I'm telling you, like the adrenaline, the feeling is like nothing you felt before. And he was like spot on, because it is crazy. Like one, you don't like the shot that lands, like it doesn't feel like you land it. So it's really weird. Like the 2 times I dropped him, the first time with my right hand, I didn't even think it connected. And then the second one that ended the fight, because he started circling around and his hands were dropping. So I went to the body one more time and I was like, just send the body one more time and see where his hands are. And when I like got up from hitting him in the body, I saw his hands are right here and I was just like, send the left hand. And when I sent it, dude, like I didn't even like step into it. So when I threw it, I was like, okay, this could stun him. But when I hit him, it didn't feel like anything. So it's a really kind of weird thing. But like winning though, like the adrenaline was, dude, it was crazy. It took probably 2 weeks to decompress. Yeah. It's like, it's wild. Like, cause it's 8 weeks of this buildup every day, waking up thinking about like, you know, how, not so much my opponent, but just like, how can I be better today? Like, what did I do wrong yesterday? How can I be better today? But still, you know, always kind of keeping the opponent in the back of your head, like knowing what you're going into. And, yeah, man, like it, the day just it comes and goes, dude. It happens so fast. Like, so the next day it was more like, dude, it was like probably 2 days of just like, did that really happen? Like, did I really like go and fight? Like, and like having to watch it back, like, okay, no, this like really happened. Just it's crazy. And then, like I said, it took me 2 weeks to decompress. And I think a big part of that too, though, is the following weekend, I went back to visit my dad's side of the family for the first time since like 2014, since like things went south. So I think like the adrenaline, like it carried, and then it was like almost another adrenaline kind of dump, like just like experiencing like being around my family again that I hadn't seen in like 12 years, you know, meeting my nieces that I hadn't met yet. So I think that like played into it. But dude, yeah, I would say the biggest part of it was like the decompression from the adrenaline was pretty wild. Yeah. Like pretty wild.
That's insane. I mean, and you ended the fight, right? So it's, I don't know if the adrenaline's different from that. I mean, have you heard that it's different? Like if you end the fight versus if it goes to decision, like,
I mean, I still think it's there, but I don't think it maybe doesn't just, it's not lasting as long. Cause I mean,
in your hands.
Cause even like, you know, speaking of this previous one that happened last weekend, even losing, like I still had like afterwards, I was still like, could barely, you know, like I wasn't able to sleep the night of, you know, it like the adrenaline's still there. Definitely not, you know, wore off faster, but yeah, it's still there for sure. Like whether you win decision, knockout, or even lose, like, yeah.
I mean, I guess like from an outsider's perspective, you're going into a ring with a guy who has the same goal as you, which is to end you. Right. For that night, I mean, I don't know if it's not to kill the other guy. I'm not going to speak for any of it, but like it's to end you.
Right.
And as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Like, I want to end your journey in this ring now.
Yes, 100%. No, they are like, you were signing up to hurt someone and they're signing up to hurt you. And yeah, it is that is the reality of the situation.
And it's not like you sign up for a wakeboard contest or anything and it's like, all right, well, I'm going to go and try and give it my all. And like, well, if I lose, you know, that sucks. It's like, if you like slip up in a ring, it's,
you could pay.
You probably will pay.
100%.
You know, so
100%.
All right, let's talk, you know, the goal of fighting, I guess, because you just had another fight you just talked about. What's your goal with this whole thing, or do you even have one?
You know, getting like into it, and after training for a few years, I think I did have a goal and an intention with it, and that was to like, because I was still like started riding again, and I think what I wanted to do first was there's an organization called Misfits, and their whole, I would say like what they're known for and how they got into the game is like, yeah, you could call it like the influencer style boxing, but what I noticed more is they just would give opportunities to people that had like journeys prior to fighting. And I was just like, oh, you know, like I have the wakeboard journey and now like I'm boxing, you know? So I was like, I could be, I just maybe saw myself as like a good fit for this. Cause they have like some of the like FaZe Clan guys, like random journeys before boxing, all, you know, kind of meeting under their banner. So that was like kind of a goal. And But like now that I've like actually started and I've kind of gone down this like dirty boxing kind of route, I'm still like all about that. Like, you know, I get done with kind of the amateur campaign. Like maybe that's an option that would, you know, that'd be cool. But right now, man, I think the goal is just take it fight by fight, and wherever dirty boxing could lead, it'll lead. But the biggest thing is just like, yeah, taking it fight by fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like not saying like I'm not going to fight a lot, but just, or like not going to fight a lot, because I want to fight as much as I can. But I just don't think I'm not putting any, it's not that I don't have a goal. I'm just not putting any like expectation to it, because like, you know, rewinding back to wakeboarding, I think I had a lot of that, and which is on me for sure. And I learned my lesson, but I think that's why I'm not doing that with fighting. Yeah. I'm just like leaving it open. It's like, hey, as long as I can fight, whatever, wherever I'm fighting or who I'm fighting for is, you know, that can be sorted later.
Yeah.
Or just like as the journey continues.
Fair enough. Interesting. I mean, will it be possible to watch some of your future fights like live stream? Was this last one live stream?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. No, they are live streamed. 100%. 100%.
Sick. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people in wakeboarding want to tap in.
No, dude.
I mean, like all you need is a reason to root for somebody, and it's like, it's my fucking guy.
Yeah.
Like,
no, man. No. And I appreciate like, it's been cool because there's been, dude, so many people like after that first fight, man. And even after this last one, though, the one that like didn't go my way, like, dude, there's just been so many people like in wakeboarding that have just like reached out and like been supportive, whether it was the win I got or even just in the loss, like, just like super, super supportive, which is like, man, so appreciated. Like, it's really, really cool.
it's cool to see people come out and be like, just show support for that.
Oh man, yeah, it's felt too, and it doesn't go underappreciated by any means.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, let's tap a little bit back into wakeboarding. We got a Patreon question from Dean, and he's wondering, for all us outsiders, help explain the West Coast versus East Coast vibe in wakeboarding culture and what makes the distinct difference in the riders and their styles / influences from those locations.
Yeah, I would say the biggest, I would say like the biggest difference between the riding, the West Coast and the East Coast riding, I would say West Coast is style focused, you know. I would say East Coast is, you know, I think there's crew like La Familia, for example, like those riders. I think there's riders on the East Coast that do focus style wise, but I think, you know, if you're really like kind of scratching the surface and dating it back, I think the biggest difference was like maybe more style focused versus more tech focused, you know, one side or the other. Yeah. I would say that's the big thing. I think too, they're like what influences it though. I think, I don't know, man. I think, I don't know if it's like, cause I know on the East Coast, like everyone kind of lives in Orlando, different lakes, but everyone's like, it's a lifestyle over there. I think it's just maybe like a lifestyle difference too that plays into it as well. For better or for worse. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I think it's like a lifestyle thing, and then the biggest difference was like style focused versus tech focused.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to sum it up too, for sure. And I mean, to add to that, from the people I've talked to on the West Coast, culture is really strong and important. Not to say that it's not on the East side, but I think East side basically, I mean Florida. It's still there and prevalent, but I think it's it's very important here.
Yes, and I think that's what I was trying to say too, with like the lifestyle part of it. Yeah. Like I think, culture based. It's more. I don't want to say more appreciated, but I think it's just more focused. Like the culture is more focused on over here and has been like throughout the years.
I mean, speaking of West Coast, Randall Harris, I see,
rest in peace.
Your shirt and your helmet.
Yeah,
obviously a huge. I guess I'm not gonna speak for a huge influence. I guess just talk about Randall. Yeah, man.
Randall was like, when I got into wakeboarding, I was obviously watching more boat than I was cable at the time. But even when I started to watch like more cable than boat, Randall just always stood out to me. Like I said, I started this journey as a massive fan, and Randall's riding always stood out to me. And then when I moved out here in 2015, they just finished Al Sur, and Trever was premiering it at Wake Island. So it was the first time I got to meet Randall. And yeah, man, just, man, like just a great energy, dude. Like meeting like a hero, and he's just like so down to earth and like asking questions about you, asking questions about your journey, just super personable, super relatable. And you're like watching his section in Al Sur, and he's just like right there and just so chill. And what was cool about it, I think, was when I went to Brostock a few months later, in Arkansas, Lake of the Ozarks, and Randall and I were the only two out there from California. And like when I like the first time I saw him on the dock, he was like, man, like he rocked up and was just like, man, like the only two out here like from the West Coast, we got to hold it down. I was like, no, you're right, you know, like kind of just like, yeah, we definitely do. Like and he was I think what's so cool about that experience though is he like remembered me. You know what I mean? Like he remembered me from that brief like just interaction at the Al Sur premiere. And yeah, just all weekend like kicking it with him, and then sure enough he like ends up winning, and just insane kind of like experience, and that trickled into the Triple Crown, which gave me a whole bunch of motivation going into that. But yeah, and then just throughout filming Dog Days too, it was just an energy, man. It's just like an energy that he carried that one, it influenced you to like want to like what you focused on with your riding, but also too just like how down to earth he was. It's like I don't know, it just influenced you to kind of carry that same energy, you know, like always be approachable, always, you know, always be just like super cool with people that are like supporting, you know, the cause, the scene, the sport. And like obviously his riding too, you know, it just alone was like a huge influence. And yeah, I remember the first time like seeing Randall ride in person. It was like, yeah, dude, it was like it's like a euphoric experience, man. Honestly, like on the Delta, sunset, like in the chase boat, and he's just like he's literally going like, you know, massive, like so fast and so big, and just gets off the water and just like so chill, you know, just went and did his thing, super chill. Like willing to talk about it all, you know, just like so down to earth, like ask questions, just cool, man. Just a cool energy. And yeah, man, just like such a big influence to so many riders out here. Yeah. Like so many, like all of them really, you know. It's not some crazy number we have out here, but the ones that are out here, he most definitely influenced. Yeah. Good dude, man. Good dude.
I think it's so cool that like he touched so many people's lives, and he had such a strong influence, even if you never met him, because I never met him. But like watching his riding alone, remove everything else, is enough for like his legacy to live on forever. And then all these other things like that, stories that people tell and stuff. It's like he's definitely will never be forgotten in the wakeboarding world. And it's like, I was even talking to some cable riders in Europe, and like they're like, oh, my favorite part was, you know, Randall Harris, blah blah blah. And I was like, damn. Yeah. Like that's impressive in saying something, because that's totally outside of their realm of what they're even can relate to. Like, I don't even ride boat. They're like, I don't even know, but like, that's fucking crazy.
Like that's proper.
It. Whatever it is, that's it. Like,
yeah, no, man, that his legacy will live on forever, man. I don't think, you know, I don't even know if people will kind of scratch the surface of that style of riding too. And don't get me wrong, there's guys that send it and that go massive, but I mean, just across the board, you know, like, you know, there'll never, ever be another Randall Harris. I mean, like, dude, what he did at the time he did it, the way he did it, just, yeah, man, one of a kind, dude. One of a kind. Absolute legend. Just one of the coolest people I've met. And, yeah, man, rest in peace, dude. Such a good dude. Such a good dude. I can't say that enough about him.
No, and in terms of wakeboarding, he kind of put wakeboarding on his back to make it cool in a
sense.
He did. Like,
he did.
You take Randall out of wakeboarding's history. I mean, it's yeah. Don't need to say it.
But. Yeah, no, 100%, man, 100%.
All right, let's talk setup. So you do still ride?
Yes.
We were going to ride the other day, but you said you're under concussion protocol.
Yes.
So that's probably not a good idea to ride. But
right.
How often do you ride, and where are you riding? What are you riding? What's it looking like?
Yeah. So the main place that I ride is Velocity. And I would say, as I'm not riding maybe like ideally as much as I would like to, but it's just kind of like in windows in between like training camps now. before, like, say, like last year, I was riding during the summer a lot because I didn't have anything on the book. So it's like, it's not a big deal. But this year it's been a little more scarce. Rode at the beginning of the year, like February or January, February-ish. And then right after the first fight, a few weekends in April. And then probably going to go ride like next week for the next couple weeks. Sick. Until I like figure out, the next fight. Yeah. But setup-wise, still rocking the 2019 Noodle. Love this thing.
Dude, that thing's coming up on like a decade.
Yeah, dude. Hey, going strong too. Going strong. No, the Peak 4Ds and I think it's a 153. Yeah. 153 Noodle. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Still have double up chill V with the Mojito boots as well that I kind of like go back and forth on, but more so the Noodle.
Yeah, that's the one that feels like home.
Oh, and man, it does.
What's the stance angles and width we got?
Oh, dude, so all like super slammed all the way in, and I want to say I'm at 0-0. Yeah, 0-0, or no, maybe it is 12-12.
It looks a little ducked.
Yeah, it's a little ducked. I think it might be. 12s. I think it's 12.
I feel like you've ridden 0-0
12,
for
12.
a minute, though.
I did. No, that is 12-12, actually.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
All right, so you're getting a little ducked these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Velocity's the local?
Velocity's the local spot, man. Yeah.
Love it. All right, I mean, like, what are you up to currently, I guess, before we kind of wrap this up here? I got a couple Patreon questions, but.
Yeah, no, man, working. So my day job is I work as a project administrator / like quality control inspector for an architectural company here in Sacramento. I'm based up at Beale Air Force Base, which is like a 40-minute commute. But that's what I'm doing like Monday through Friday from like 6 to 2:30, and then just training, getting ready for the next fight. I did get confirmation the other day from the matchmaker. They're going to give me the rematch with the guy I just fought. We're just trying to figure out if it's going to be September or December. But yeah, that's kind of what's like going on. Just working, training. When I'm out of camp, I can ride. And yeah, I'm like very, very like pumped up and motivated to film some content. Cause like, yeah, man, my big push is like, I kind of want to, I found like a small narrow lane, and I just kind of want to pursue that lane of just like being able to post and create content wakeboarding and, fight kind of at the same time, just parallel journeys. And yeah, man, just kind of pursue that.
Sick.
Pursue that. Yeah, man.
I love it. All right. We got one last guest question from Jacob Sunde.
Oh, Jacob. Yeah. And speaking of Jacob, I have to say, man, like that dude, watching him kind of just grow throughout the years and to see like where he's at now, man, it's pretty special. It's pretty incredible, man. He is like holding it down for the West Coast for sure.
The next gen for sure. Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. Like he's so good behind the boat. He's at a point with cable riding, man. Like I feel like anything he kind of like puts his mind to, he's doing, which is like so cool to watch. But yeah, no, like last year, dude, we were going to go like, dude, honestly, start of April, we had like the whole like summer / fall, pretty much like all planned out, like full winch trip, like every weekend going to a new place, new spot. I mean, dude, a laundry list of winch spots that just haven't been hit yet around Sacramento, down in LA, some in Vegas. And yeah, man, we planned this like, dude, we planned this summer just like to the T, dude. And for all of April, I mean, like so far into the planning that we would go to the cable when the cable was closed, set up the winch, set the pulley on the tower, and just like we would just be hitting the rails like with the winch just to like get our feet under us, get familiar with the pool and everything. And dude, I literally watched Jacob go 4 weekends in a row hitting, whether it be like hitting the tech with, on the winch, putting the floating kicker next to the street and just practicing transfers up. Dude, 4 weekends in a row, every pool, like I watched Jacob go like he didn't mess up. Like one, he didn't fall the entire time, but he didn't like miss a trick the entire time. which is just like so fascinating to watch. And yeah, it was unfortunate kind of how things started with the trip. Like first spot, unfortunately, like, you know, broke his wrist. But yeah, dude, just speaking on Jacob and like where he's at in his journey, what he's doing and like what he plans to do, man, just like so proud of him. And just, yeah, dude's a killer, unreal style. Yeah, I can't say enough about Jacob, dude. He's like a brother to me. And yeah, I'm like so excited to see where his journey in wakeboarding takes him, because man, he does it all. He's kind of like, he's the triple threat, you know, if it's behind the boat, if it's a winch spot, if it's at the cable, like Jacob's in pursuit. So yeah, man.
Yeah, it's cool he's doing it all. It's so refreshing to see and watch. And, you know, obviously a lot of people can't do that, but he's the ability to do that, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into a guest question from Jacob Sunde here.
Yo, what is going on, boys? Tanner, stoked that you're on the podcast. I can't wait to watch this because I know this is about to be juicy. But yeah, dude, let's just get right into it. I've definitely looked up to you a lot as a kid, and always wanted to mimic your riding growing up, and you being the local pro and whatnot. It was always really cool to see you at the cable all the time and see clips of you at my local cable. So my question for you is, who inspired you when you were younger? You know, whether that be wakeboarding or whether that be football, or, you know, probably just give me answers for both. But yeah, brother, love you heaps, and can't wait to see the pod. Can't wait to hang out with you this weekend at X Games, and yeah, I hope you have a good one.
Man,
that's good because we didn't really touch on that, so that's.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. No, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I would say like most influential like people or athletes. I would say overall like Kobe was probably like biggest influence sports wise. Wakeboarding wise, man. Or I really should say like board sport wise. Dude, it would probably have to be like. I know I touched on, I said Chris Jocelyn. He was like, when I was like really getting into it, I would say heavy pursuit. But really, man, like, I guess the like athletic influence would come, I would say like Kobe Bryant. And then like obviously Connor, watching that was like unreal. But then like just in wakeboarding, I would say like when I first really got into it, dude, it was like Dylan Miller, Kaysen, Randall. Yeah, I would say those are like the big influences when it actually came to wakeboarding. Yeah, dude, Dylan Miller had this, is when he was on O'Brien. He had this video, boat and winch and a little bit of cable,
the video,
and it had to that Wiz Khalifa song, bro. Dude, I had that like, dude, on repeat. What was it like, dude? All 20. I think it came out in like 2011.
Yeah,
dude. When that came out, it was just like that on repeat. Like that's the only video I was watching for ages, man. But
it's a good rewatch, dude. If you pull it up, it's still good to rewatch.
So good, man. It's so good. But yeah, no, I would say like those three in wakeboarding at the beginning, and then overall athletically, I would say like Kobe was like just that mindset, that Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
After that, Connor for sure.
Big names there. All right. I think before we wrap this up, I think we hit one last Patreon question from Danielle Crawford Cotton. So thank you to everybody on the Patreon. Your guys' support is what keeps this podcast going. So I love answering or asking questions to get answered by the guests on here. So thank you for sending them in. And she's wondering, what would you say is the greatest gift wakeboarding has given you, and what are some words of wisdom you have for the future generations of riders?
Yeah, man. Wakeboarding's given me so much. I would say though, wakeboarding gave me direction when I didn't have direction. It gave me for an X amount of time. It gave me purpose. I would say like direction and purpose would be like the two probably most beautiful things wakeboarding has given me. Along with that, it gave me opportunity to travel the world, to experience different cultures, to meet phenomenal people. Man, there's so much that wakeboarding's given me. It's actually like, it's like really hard to put it all into like one answer. But I would say like direction and purpose are the two biggest things. Yeah, man, like wakeboarding's, yeah, dude, it's given me so much, man. It's given me so much. And I think that's like what is, what I'm so grateful for in my journey is being able to like go through it and then step back and like regain perspective of like why I started doing it, and then being able to like, wow, this is why I started doing it, but having all these experiences like afterwards to like kind of reflect on and be grateful for.
Yeah.
But dude, wakeboarding's given me so much, man. Like, and I would say for the next generation, like the I guess the bit of wisdom that I would have to share, man, is just like if you have a dream, just like, man, if you have a dream, if you're passionate about something, like just lock in and pursue it. And you don't have to have all the answers, like right away of like how to get there or what the path is, as long as you just keep showing up, and with like intention of like what your goal is, like things fall into place. And like, you know, with wakeboarding, like there's so many amazing people like within the industry, like, you will find your way. You will find your way. There's like times where it might not feel like that, but you will find your way. But just like the biggest thing is just like keep being passionate like about what you're doing. Keep that dream and just like, yeah, pursue it with like intention. Yeah, because the rest will fall into place. It really will.
Yeah,
it really will.
Give it everything you got.
Yeah, no, and you know, another thing too is like, yeah, like we kind of hit on, you know, earlier in the conversation, and is something that like I was super grateful to when I subscribed on the Patreon. You sent me like a little care package, and in that note, you know, like, or there was a note in there, and what you had written on it, I have it posted on my desk actually. It's like one of the main things you said is just like, don't stop wakeboarding, you know. And I like really, at that time I needed that, I like needed to hear that, and it like meant so much. But it's like, I guess I just want to speak on that. It's like, yeah, just don't stop, you know, like that's the biggest thing. Like just don't stop, you know? Yeah, I would say that's like the wisdom I'd have to share.
That's a good one. And like, I mean that, like, to like, don't stop. Even like, I guess if you really don't want to fucking keep doing it, like that's fine. Like quit, like
right.
It's cool. But if you're just like kind of on the fence and you still do like it, like ignore everything else. Don't stop. Like just keep doing it. Cause it's always fun.
100%. No. And, yeah, man, like I'm so grateful for wakeboarding. And I like, that's like one thing I think I like, just, I hope is like perceived from people and received from people watching this, is just like how grateful I am for wakeboarding. Because yeah, like I had this expectation and I had like the once, right? But like that's all like the extra, but like actually the facts of like what it's done for me, it's, man, wakeboarding's done so much for me, man. It gave me a path, it gave me direction, it gave me amazing friends, it gave me opportunity to do a lot of things. So yeah. Man,
Absolutely.
beautiful thing.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, thank you for coming on. Is there anything else you want to touch on before we wrap this up? I mean, we did a lot.
Yeah, no, we did. No, man, I would say like the biggest thing is, you know, I just want to like say thank you. Thank you to you. Thank you for having me. This is like, I'm a huge fan of what you're doing, what you've been doing, man. And it, like the time you got into doing this was like the perfect time, man. I swear. But yeah, just like, want to say thank you more than anything. Like I have so many people to thank. Like, and I guess just need to start, but yeah, like Wake Island and Noodle, you know, kind of giving me a home base at the beginning of my journey. And then, you know, Scott, at Velocity, man, giving me like that kind of that next step of opportunity and allowing me to be part of what his dream was, you know, for well over 10 years. Need to thank like Liquid Force, man, Don Wallace, Aaron, I know I said this earlier, but Aaron Grace, no, like, thank you. I know we had our differences, but hey, it's the past. It's water under the bridge. Chris Patterson, Ryan Schubert, like, man, so many people, Jimmy, Tony, at Liquid Force. Thank you guys. Double up, man. Dean, Jono, like for giving me an opportunity kind of later down the journey. Like, thank you guys. Steve, with Follow, man. Like, yeah, big thank you to Follow. And just like, man, so many people to thank. Super, super grateful. And yeah, man, that's about it.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on. This was for those who don't know, this was a long time coming, and you know, you don't get to Florida,
right.
if often, and you know, I don't get to California ever, if often. So, kind of, this was one of the ones where I was like, going to Sacramento, kind of got to do this one. And
yeah,
I was hyped for it. I don't know if you were, but I was very excited.
Oh, I've been super, super excited. Yeah. And another thing, I guess, group I need to thank too, though, is man, like out here in California, dude, for like taking me in, Kason, Trever, Josh, Ty, Rodrigo, man, Randall, Melissa, Fisher, I mean, even like, you know, Jacob, Hayden, just everyone, man, like everyone that had really kind of just like took me in and helped me along the journey. Like, just a massive, massive thank you, because there's like, you know, kind of the wakeboard industry, like, you know, Orlando based, like, you know, that's kind of the mecca. So out here it's a little scarce, but like everyone just, I mean, dude, from top to bottom, like, dude, Mike Sweeney, just everyone, dude,
yeah.
Everyone. Yeah. Big thank you to the West Coast for you know, accepting your boy. I appreciate the West Coast so much. And yeah, TK, Bobby, like everyone, dude. Yeah. Everyone on the West Coast. Thank you.
Sick. Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on. Thanks for having me over and me sitting down and doing this. I loved it.
No, thank you, Hunter.
Yeah,
thank you for the opportunity, bro.
100%. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah,
make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that BS. Make sure to do it. If you're interested in supporting the podcast, join the Patreon is the best way to do that.
Got to.
Until then, we'll see you guys next time.